Hello and welcome to the Mailbox Rogues Gallery. My name's Sean.
And my name's Burch.
And last you heard from us, we had a little trouble with the law and we basically are living on the run now.
Yep, that's right. As Sean has said, we got out of prison. We're now on the lam being hunted. There's wanted posters up for us, but, that's not going to deter us. We're just going to keep on rocking and rolling as we always have done.
Well, exactly. And of course, we do still need to put food in our mouths, so I've managed to sort us a bit of work then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with one of your connections from prison, I understand it.
Yeah, he's a bit of a fixer. I did mention him in a previous episode. It's Badminton Jones.
Badminton Jones, of course. How could I forget a name like Badminton Jones?
And he's got us a bit of cash in hand work as painter decorators.
He has indeed. Yeah, we're currently painting and decorating in a beautiful house. It's like a stately home, this place.
It's lovely. I mean, this place could be owned by the National Trust. This is huge.
Gorgeous.
And since we're doing a bit of painting and decorating, we thought who better to talk about this week than Salvador Dali, a famous painter.
Sal Dali.
Sal Dali. That's maybe what they called him, maybe, as a nickname. I find that hard to believe, to be honest.
If there's a little Sal Daly, how are you going, lad? Still messing with them brushes?
Maybe on the streets of Barcelona at age 11 years old, there's a chance that was an interaction he had at some point with somebody.
Very possibly.
But of course, he was more than just a painter. He was a sculptor, he was a photographer, he was a filmmaker, he was a big name in the world of art. Oh, hang on. I think our client might be coming. We're not meant to be recording a podcast, so hang on.
It probably won't be too pleased if we're recording.
We keep it on the download.
Good morning, chums. Good morning, chums. How are you chaps getting on?
Very well, thanks, Mr. Fisley Smythe.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Fisley Smythe. It's a lovely house that you have here. Oh, thank you very much. It's several generations this place has been in my family, from Fisley Smythe to Fisley Smythe.
And a beautiful house it is.
A lovely, lovely place. Yeah, so we're just basically getting started.
As you can see, we've got the dust sheets over everything in the room.
Splendid, yes. I'm going to be popping out in a moment just for a drive in the Jag. I believe you know where everything is. I pointed you in the direction of the loo. If you want a drink, just call Gladys. She'll gladly make you some iced tea.
Thank you, that's very nice.
And some scones.
Delicious, thank you. Maybe for our morning break.
Good lads, well, I'm going to be popping off now, so that's it, I guess. Tatty bye. Goodbye, Mr. Fisley Smythe.
Goodbye, Mr. Fisley Smythe.
What a friendly chap.
He's lovely, isn't he? And you know what? He sounds the spit of James Mason.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, it's quite uncanny. Maybe he's related somewhere along the line.
Well, you never know with these upper classes. It's all a bit of inbreeding, and who knows. Still, lovely voice he's got.
Beautiful voice. Lovely home. I'm a bit worried now. I really don't want to cock this up.
Oh, no. We know what we're doing. You're a painter, aren't you? I'm a decorator. You're a painter.
I mean, you say that, but I don't think I've ever painted, and I don't think you've ever decorated.
No, I meant in name only. But that's enough, really, isn't it?
I guess. I mean, we'll give it our all. I mean, that's all we can do at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we do have the added encumbrance of recording a podcast episode at the same time as we do the job, but we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, well, while we're working, let's just get back to talking about Salvador Dali.
Let's do it.
So, did you know that growing up, he believed he was the reincarnation of his dead brother?
Also named Salvador Dali.
Yeah, and his brother died, I think it was 9 months before he was born. And when Salvador Dali Mark II was 5, his parents took him to his dead brother's grave and were like, by the way, you're the reincarnation of your dead brother, so isn't that nice?
What would that do? Well, I mean, I guess we saw the result of what that would do to a child.
It made him pretty fruity.
Yes, pretty fruity indeed.
I mean, the timing works out. I mean, if he was born 9 months later, after his brother had died,
Hang on.
He was basically...
So...
His parents conceived him.
Shortly after their child died?
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, God, that's...
Grief can bring people closer together. We shouldn't judge.
That's very true. I shouldn't be wishing that they were just depressed. So if they could find some solace in those dark times.
Yeah, good for them. Now, I know really only one other story from Dali's childhood. I might have mentioned this to you before, but I used to have this art book about Salvador Dali, and it had this very strange anecdote in it, which I'm not saying has definitely happened, but it was printed in a book, and it's about his childhood and his sexual proclivities. Basically, he was a lifelong voyeur, and supposedly he had this busty maid working at his childhood home, basically, who had these like gigantic bosoms that he became quite obsessed with. And he set up this trap for her whereby he had her follow him up a ladder up into the top of the hayloft of a barn. And he scampered up there ahead of her, and she was coming up behind him. And he had it set up so as she reached the top and was framed by the window, of course, with her bust in that frame as well, her ample bust, he, from the other side of the room, jumped off a stool onto 2 gigantic watermelons that were there and burst them. And that was the sort of Freudian symbology that represented her gigantic breasts and his interaction with them. And that was a very strange story I read in that book. I read it a few times just to make sure I'd really got the gist of it.
Surely not. Hang on. Thumb back through
missed
the
a bit
pages.
here.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so supposedly that's one of the ways that he found his early sexual gratification.
Blimey. I mean, it's like something from a Carry On film, almost.
It is a bit, really, isn't it?
Well, of course, there was the time as well when the Dali family went on a camping holiday, and they brought the maid with her, and she decided to do the morning exercises.
Pumping the chest out, basically.
That's right, pumping the chest out. And what young Dali did was that he fiddled with the buckle on her brassiere, so that when she was there in the morning doing the morning stretches, the brassiere flew off and went into the instructor's face, and he went, "Oh, matron."
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that quite distinctly now. I think I've seen this one.
And then the little whiskers that Dali was growing as a prepubescent, they just kind of curled up on end.
Yeah, they went wing.
And that's how he got the moustache.
It's the origin story of the famous moustache. Yeah.
Yeah, he saw a woman's knockers.
That'll do it, at that age. That'll do it.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, he's also, when it comes to his painting, he had these like very strange, dreamlike landscapes and ideas and symbology. And he actually used to go into like a dreamlike state to create them. So he used to try and like be in that mental state where you're just between asleep and awake. And one of the things he used to do was like hold on to a metal spoon or something like that, something that would clatter as he drifted off. So he would be in that dreamlike state, he'd have these visions, and then he'd jolt awake, and he had those dreamlike visions still on the forefront of his mind, and he could just run up to the easel and do that. So I just thought maybe, I often drift off a lot while you're talking. So I just thought maybe I can do a bit of that while we're...
Hang on a minute, what? You drift off when I'm talking?
Well, it's not all the time. Like, only if you're telling me about something you're passionate about. Or if we're recording a podcast a lot of the time. To be honest, the fact that I often drift into silences that last 20 to 30 minutes and I sit there with my eyes closed, I guess I thought you knew.
Well, I just thought that you were like deep in thought at the insight that I was bringing to the podcast.
Just taking on board all the wisdom, letting it wash over me.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. Just drifted off. But I was thinking maybe while we're talking and doing this, I might do a couple of paintings,
Why not? We've got the brushes, we got the paint. So
I have actually done this one. I thought you might want to come take a look at this.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Let's have a look. Well, you've done it on the wall, have you?
Just on the wall while we're working, yeah.
That's fine. I mean, if needs be, we can always paint over it, can't we?
I mean, I guess so, but this could be worth something. I mean, Banksy does stuff on walls all the time, and then they just cut the whole wall off.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. Let's have a look at it and see what we think.
Yeah, so I just thought as well we could maybe interpret it, because it's come directly from my subconscious brain. It could be pregnant with meaning and symbologies.
Ah.
You can see here, there's this figure in red, right? And actually you're wearing red, aren't you, today? Yeah.
I am today, yeah, red overalls.
Yeah, well this figure in red, right? He's casting this huge shadow, and it's being cast over this child wearing blue. I'm wearing blue, aren't I? Yeah, I'm wearing blue overalls, yeah. Anyway, so this very innocent, childlike figure in blue Anyway, so the shadow that's being cast by the man in red, it grows and grows, and it sort of falls over him and ends up forming the shape of a prison.
Wow.
And then there's some elephants and stilts on the background.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to have those.
I was just wondering, about what the subconscious meaning of that might be. Yeah, I've noticed that the kind of evil figure is wearing red. You're wearing red, and then the innocent figure is wearing blue, and I'm wearing blue. So I just wonder if maybe...
Well, before you say anything, I'm just going to have to say, whoever that guy in red is clearly a piece of shit.
Yeah?
Well, look at the jagged edges that you've used to paint the person in red with, like, furious brushstrokes, whereas the person down there is very, very gently kind of like brushed in. So whoever this red person is just like, I guess, a figure of torment.
That's the only way I can interpret it as well. Certainly he's a figure of fright in my life, whoever he might be.
So when you look at Dali's early life, you look at his father. He exhibited some of his early artworks when he was a child. His mother, she really encouraged his artistic endeavours. Had an uncle who owned a bookshop who taught him about cubism. So he had a family that was very nurturing early on of his creativity, which is sort of the opposite of you now. So I was kind of surprised that you were so eager to kind of take up this painting and decorating gig.
Oh, because I've never been nurtured.
Creatively. I seem to remember you telling me ages ago about colouring books. They'd only give you like white pencils to colour in with.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And they weren't really very white, to be honest. They more just turned out grey.
Oh, so they're just like pencils.
Yeah, they were just standard pencils, yeah. But I mean, they didn't have any lead in them either, so I couldn't get much. I could kind of scratch some stuff onto the paper, but it really ruined it.
Right, so it's just like wood chippings kind of like scraped into the paper is basically what your artwork consisted of. I suppose you wouldn't really call that very encouraging, but some people found it quite contemplative as outsider art. Oh, I see. Did you have any exhibitions that were put on when you were a child of your outsider art? Oh, I've made some exhibitions of myself in my time, I tell you. Yeah, I have. But I mean, as an artist, no. Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. No, I just mean like social workers when they'd come by. They'd just sort of be like, oh, yeah, that's interesting outsider art that you've scratched there into the paper and onto the walls with the bits of wood, sticks, really. What about you? Were you nurtured as an artistic youth? I sort of had the complete opposite of you. I wasn't so much nurtured into the art world. I was sort of bullied into it. Oh, yeah. My parents were just like, "You're gonna be a fucking classical artist if it kills you, son." I'm 4 years old. I'm just like, what the hell's a classical artist? They're handing me paintbrushes and like canvases, just like, come on, paint us something. I'm like, all right, okay. Like, paint a little simplistic cat. My mum puts her fist through the canvas, says, "Do it again." Gets another canvas out. Their canvas bill must have been massive. Oh, they should have just started you off on paper. They should have, really. But yeah, she put her fist through one of the canvases, and I looked round the corner. The whole hallway was littered with canvases. Right, all ready and lined up. I suppose it's a bit of, they're considering it like a sunk cost at that point, aren't they? It's like, well, we started him on canvas. He can't regress to A4 paper now, can he? I mean, even now when I like doodle or something, I have to do it on a canvas. Yeah, and this actually might explain something about my childhood, because we grew up in the same town, and my dad was the local canvas maker. And one of the reasons I didn't really get much encouragement is his dad was always away from home working. He was just like non-stop. He had to keep up with this constant demand for canvases. Huh. And the more work that came in, the less I saw of him, the less attention I got, the less I could put into my own artistic endeavours. And I don't suppose it's anything to do with you and your childhood, is it? The fact that I never got to see my dad. Hey, now come on, no, you can't put that on me. I mean, yes. If you were a bit better at the art though, your mum wouldn't have had to keep destroying them and replacing the canvases. Like, if you could have just done the cat right the first time, my dad would have come home. I was 4 years old. A circle with triangles on it. It's like, what else am I meant to do? They're like, come on, no, get the nuance of the cat. Get the personality of the cat. Where's the life in this? Cat. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they should have shown you some picture books with cats in first. Had you ever seen a cat at that point? Only Tom and Jerry on TV. Tom was the only cat I ever saw, so I basically copying that. But, fair play to them. I can paint a cat lifelike as anything now.
Wow. But anything else, or is it just the cat?
Just cats.
You never moved on to Jerry then?
No.
Too complicated.
No, if ever I draw like a series of animals, they'll see the cat. Oh, God, James, that's beautiful. Can you draw a little mouse with that as well? Yeah, sure. What the fuck is that?
Oh, well. I mean, you can't blame your parents for trying. I've actually, just while we've been talking, I've done another painting.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Let's have a look at that.
Particularly when you talk about your childhood, that's usually when I'm like most liable to go into this like dreamlike sleep state. So come and take a look. See if we can interpret this one.
Yeah, sure.
This one here, you can see, right? We've got this man in red again. That's interesting, isn't it? It's the man in red.
Man in red. Oh, blimey.
And again, he's looking quite frightful. This time, he's sort of sprouted devil horns.
Ooh.
And he's got this really, really malicious grin on his face. But the weird thing is, and this is where the surrealist influence of Dali comes in, right? As you can see, instead of legs, he's got two wheels, and he's sort of set out a bit like a motorbike. The way he's splayed.
A motorbike?
A man in red and a motorbike. And you just broke out of prison on a motorbike, didn't you? Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then when you broke out of prison, that got me in trouble with the law again, didn't it? And that's why I'm on the run as well as you.
Yeah, I mean, they did kill two birds with one stone, as it were.
Well, I mean, you were shouting my name as you were escaping.
I was just eager to see you.
Right, well, anyway, back to the painting. So the man in red with the motorbike-like legs. He's got this child in blue, again, looking very angelic. The child in blue is slung over his shoulder, and he's looking quite helpless, and more innocent than ever, I might say. What do you think of that one?
You know what? I think I've got it. I think that's you.
What, the child?
No. No, the one in red. The devil.
I don't think so, mate. I'm wearing blue. Like the boy in blue.
It doesn't matter about what you're wearing. Red is a representation of anger, all of those kind of like nasty, horrid emotions. And I think what you're secretly doing here is sort of telling yourself that you're not, that nice a person.
Right. Oh, okay. That's how you interpret that, is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, let's have a look. So you're here.
No, let's move on. Let's get back to talking about Dali. No, I don't want to hear this.
What? You asked for my opinion.
Ah, well, I've heard it.
All right, fine.
Did you hear about Dali tricking Yoko Ono?
Yes, I did.
This is great, wasn't it? So, Yoko Ono wanted to buy a strand of Dali's hair.
Specifically from his moustache.
From his famous moustache. And she was going to pay him $10,000 for this strand of hair. And then Dali was like, oh, yeah. I'll give you a hair for $10,000. But also, I mean, he thought that Yoko Ono was a witch.
That's right, yeah. He was worried that she was going to use his hair in some kind of spell.
Yeah, which I'm sure a lot of people were worried about in those days. So he's in a bind now because he doesn't want to send her anything of his that she can use in a spell. But he does really want that $10,000. So he got his friend to go out into the garden and get a blade of grass and then sort of like whittle it down so it's just like one fine strand of grass and then sent it to Yoko Ono. And she paid him $10,000 for it.
I'd say he was a bit nicer than he could have been in that situation. I mean, if that was me, I'd have probably shaved off a dog's ass hair
okay,
and put it in a box.
That is quite creative. I'm actually surprised he didn't think of that one. He'd be rolling over in his grave. Well, speaking of him rolling over, this is actually what I'm about to say links to both him rolling over in his grave and his moustache. Did you know they dug him up in 2017? They exhumed him as part of a paternity suit.
I did, yeah. I saw this.
Yeah, this woman was claiming to be his daughter. And, they dug him up and she wasn't. But they had one quite surreal discovery when they pulled him up. His moustache was still completely intact.
Incredible.
So I think he died in like 1989, if I recall. And this is from 2017. And, miraculously, He's still got the moustache. Now, when I read up about this, I couldn't find much in the way of details as to what the rest of his face looked like. So, were you like me? Were you just picturing a skeleton with a moustache?
It's certainly shriveled flesh, like something from Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Oh, like a raisin with a moustache.
Yes, basically, yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, both of them are pretty comical images, if you ask me.
Oh, hysterical. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I say dig him up every 20 years or so. Check on that moustache. See how it's going.
Well, I mean, bit of a family secret now, but there's a reason why the moustache, it looks so well maintained.
It's not made of dog ass hairs, is it?
No, it is his moustache hair. Basically, my Uncle Terry,
Yeah.
he's contractually obliged every fortnight. He's got a key to the Dali crypt, and he basically goes in there and puts some hair gel on his moustache and trims it a bit and keeps it in tip-top condition.
So he wasn't grooming him before Dali died?
Never met him. Never met him when he was alive. Only knew him when he was a corpse. He worked at a hair salon, right? And he got this call one day, which was like, "Oh yeah, we've got this interesting proposal for you." And he was like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. Whose hair am I cutting?" And they were like, "Salvador Dali." And my Uncle Terry was like, "Salvador Dali didn't he die the other day?" And they were like, "Yeah, look, what we need." It was his final request that his moustache must not fall. So what we need is someone to come in, give it a bit of a snip, groom it, put the gel in, kind of curl it up at the ends every couple of weeks.
But hang on, look, I've got to interrupt because this is asking so many questions, right? Every 2 weeks, he's trimming it. Isn't it? Isn't it just like a nub at this point? If he's trimmed it every 2 weeks, surely there's nothing left. Unless he is still growing the hair as a corpse, in which case Yoko Ono really did cast a spell on him in revenge when she found out about the blade of grass. In which case she was sort of like, right, here's the curse I'm going to put on you: is you may rest, but your moustache never will get to heaven with you because it will never die. So he's up there in heaven looking down. He's got a completely bald top lip. He's just waiting for his moustache to die so it can join him.
Oh my God. When I tell my Uncle Terry this, he is going to be pleased as punch.
He's been wondering all these years.
How the fuck is this thing still growing? I thought it was only the fingernails that still grow after death, not moustache hair.
No, and for, I don't know, what was it, 30 years or something?
Yeah, well, more, I guess. Yeah, more than 30 years.
And look, if you love your work, you never work a day in your life.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's nothing he loves more than trimming the moustache of a corpse.
Yeah, well, I've heard some strange stories about your Uncle Terry. Now, one thing that I've known about Dali for years, and every now and then I trot this out as a little bit of trivia, and people are always quite surprised. Did you know that he created the Chupa Chups logo?
What's a Chupa Chup?
The lollies, the little sweets. They're kind of like colourfully wrapped, and they say Chupa Chups on them.
I think I know the ones you mean.
That you'd recognise them. You'd see them in newsagents. You'll have seen them a million times.
In my researching for Dali, I was like flicking through, and I did see he created the Chupa Chups logo. I was like, I don't know what that is. Don't care. Scroll past.
All right. Well, I mean, I know the Chupa Chups logo like the back of my hand, and when I mention that to people, they tend to know what I'm talking about as well. They're not so insular as you were. But I mean, I thought, why don't me and you have a go at creating some logos?
Yeah, sure. What, for Chupa Chups or just for anything?
What I've done, when we've been talking, I've been painting again. I find it quite freeing, actually, painting while I'm talking to you. So I've got this image here, and then, we can decide who to sell it to, as a logo, because I think the image on its own stands. What I've got is, you see here, I've painted a carrot, but I've given it the face of Timothée Chalamet, and the carrot's smoking a cigarette.
Ah.
Yeah, and I thought, we could sell that to the carrot people. We could sell that to the cigarette people. I mean, Timothée Chalamet could have it as his logo if he wants, so there's a market there.
Yeah, celebrities do like to branch out for merchandise. Maybe he could start like a sort of a carrot thing.
Yeah, and whoever's making carrots, they could probably do a bit more marketing, and then it's smoking a cigarette, so it's cool.
I agree. Smoking is cool. Remember that, kids. But there's a lot of taboo for some reason. People don't like smoking. They're like, no, you don't put that on TV. Don't put that on adverts. You'll encourage kids. But then we can say, look, what's healthier than a carrot?
Yeah, exactly. Sell it. Forget the carrot people then. Sell it to the cigarette people, intertwining the idea of the coolness of smoking with the healthiness of carrots.
Yep. And the star power of Timothée Chalamet.
And oh, here you go. Hang on. We don't have to sell it at all. We could start our own carrot-flavoured cigarette company and see if we can get Chalamet on board as the spokesperson.
I like the sound of this. So we're going for carrot-flavoured cigarettes and not cigarette-flavoured carrots?
I suppose we could go... No, I think carrots taste better, yeah. I was going to say, I suppose we could go both ways.
I mean, in my opinion, why not have both? Because think about it. For the people that are trying to kind of, this is perfect. We have the people that we can reel in, and then we have the people that we can fish back out. Cigarettes that taste like carrots. Maybe if people are a bit skeptical, they try as, okay, well, I like carrots, let's give it a try. Get them hooked on the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And for people trying to quit, just pop this carrot in your mouth. It tastes like a cigarette, but without any of the nicotine.
We all know the pleasures of smoking a cigarette and eating a carrot at the same time. It's like cigarettes and coffee, cigarettes and carrot.
It's like cheese and wine.
Exactly. So, I mean, you know, you're going to have those people who are going to have both because they want the cigarette taste and they want the carrot taste. So they've got both in their mouth at the same time.
I guess what we might need to do as well is to put like a bit of a disclaimer on there. It's like, smoke the carrot, but don't eat the cigarette.
Wait, hang on. Smoke the carrot, but don't eat the cigarette. Shouldn't you be smoking the cigarette? I've got a little bit turned around here, I'm afraid.
What?
Wait, so I'm just trying to get it all. I'm trying to just maintain it all in my head. So it's a cigarette-flavored carrot, but you want to eat the carrot, right? Because it's cigarette-flavored, but it's still a carrot. And you still want to smoke the cigarette because the cigarette, although it is carrot-flavored, it is still a cigarette.
My brain's hurting now.
Maybe we should move on. This is... Well, look, we'll put it in the back pocket. Maybe if the painter-decorator job doesn't work out, this can be our next business endeavour.
Carrot, cigarette, carrots. Sounds good to me. I usually pester Timothée Chalamet on social media every day anyway, so I'll just make sure I mention these carrot cigarettes this time, just so that he kind of gets the message.
Yeah, make a new account. So, because I'm sure you're blocked on all the other ones.
Yeah, there's quite a few now that I'm blocked on, but I can make a new one. We'll take a picture of this painting that you've done on the wall here. Have that as the logo. I mean, he's not going to block me when he sees that, is it? His face emboldened on a carrot.
It's a dream, isn't it? I mean, what could be more flattering than that?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, sure, he's not responded to any of the other artwork that I've done of him or any of the poems I've written for him. But, I'm sure if he sees this carrot, it'll change his mind about things. This
will be the one. This could be the breakthrough. Yeah. And then once he's our mascot, I'm sure you'll strike up a great friendship.
Which would be the dream.
The dream. Yeah. Well, I mean, have you got any logos that you've come up with while we've been talking?
Well, how about this for one, right? We've got a wavy roll of toilet paper, right, blowing in the breeze. It's like a cape. And it leads up to like a furry ball, right?
What type of ball? Like a testicle?
Yeah.
I'm assuming from your
furry testicle, right? Because I guess like that sort of region, I guess with the toilet paper, it would make sense. And on the testicle, we have the face of Ant and Dec.
It's always Ant and Dec with you. If you're not harassing Chalamet on Twitter, it's Ant and Dec, isn't it?
Well, we had the two testicles, okay? One for Ant and one for Dec.
I don't know that they're going to like this portrayal.
No?
No, I mean, you give them a cape, which makes them seem like superheroes. But...
Well, yeah, exactly. So they're like heroes, really. Yeah. I mean, the cape would also be covered in shit as well.
Oh, okay. Well, this actually leads quite nicely back into Dali, because Dali had quite a lot of scatological themes in his work as well, which is one of the reasons surrealists hated him, because they thought he was going too far with his surrealism.
They also hated him because he had a bit of a thing for Hitler.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, he did. He was quite enamoured with Hitler. even after the war. I think he was still doing portraits of him in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, or the late 40s. He did this one that is, I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's like a lovely moonlight image. And, you know, you look at it, you go, oh, a lovely moonlight image. But he's titled it something like Moonlight Image and a Portrait of Hitler. You're like, all right, where's Hitler in there? And then if you just turn it to the side, the shape of it all, it's like zoomed in on Hitler's top lip, and it's the moustache and like the I can't remember what that bit between your lip and your nose is called, the philtrum, I think, maybe. And it's like that. It's like, well, if you didn't put Hitler in the title, nobody would have been looking for Hitler and nobody would have found that.
I mean, he also was quoted as saying, "I often dreamed about Hitler as other men dreamed about women." Yeah,
I've never had that dream about Hitler.
No, I can't say that I have either. You know, you mentioned the moustache. Maybe that's what the infatuation was all about. Because if you look at him, he didn't really have much hair in that little middle bit.
In the middle, yeah.
But Hitler, he had that in spades.
He did, yeah.
But he didn't have anything on the other side. Maybe in a strange way, he thought that with Hitler's middle moustache bit and Dali's side moustache bit, maybe they'd complete each other.
A moustache to rule the world.
Oh, it's a powerful moustache.
It's frightening to think about. All of that.
Yeah.
Very frightening. Ugh. Well, we should stop talking about Hitler, and I've gone and done another painting while we've been talking.
Have you, by God?
I have, yeah. Look, come and take a look at this one.
Yeah, let's have a look.
We're not really getting a lot of work done, but we'll be all right.
What are you talking about? We've got like a whole wall painted. I mean, it's not Magnolia like the guy asked for, but you know, it's beautiful.
Oh, it is. Yeah, we've got these lovely paintings I've done. This one's quite interesting. Help me interpret this. Somehow I feel like we might interpret this one the same. Now, as you see, there's the man in red again. This time it's like a portrait. He's a bit clearer, and he's got a ginger beard like you, and he's wearing a name tag, and it says, "Hello, my name's Burch." And he's got a speech bubble that's coming out of his head, and it says, "Sean, I'll see you locked up again." And then, there's a melting clock draped over the side of his face.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you think of that?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm sort of stumped with this one. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
No, it's a bit of a head scratcher, you think?
Yeah. What
right.
Like who this is and what this represents.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was actually completely awake when I did this one. This isn't so much the subconscious as the conscious. This guy here in the red, with the ginger beard, with the name badge saying, "Hello, my name's James Burch."
Yeah.
That's actually you.
What?
Yeah, that's you. And the speech bubble, "Sean, I will see you locked up again." I suppose that's a reflection of the fact that you got me sent to prison, and now you've got me on the run. And maybe there's a little bit of resentment there from me. And the fact you're probably going to get me locked up again.
Yeah, with that attitude, you got to stay positive. Look on the brighter side of life with this sort of thing.
Well, that's true. I mean, at least we have each other. And this job.
You have to remember, Sean, do you think I wanted to go to prison? Do you think I wanted to get us in trouble? Do you think I want to be on the run so that we're having to do odd jobs to make ends meet?
No, I suppose you have had it hard too. Well, you know what? Maybe talking about this and expressing myself artistically, maybe it's helped me work through some of these issues that I've had. Maybe this tapping into my conscious and subconscious mind has really opened that door and let the emotions flood out. And I'm actually feeling this kind of cathartic release now.
Absolutely. No, it's always good to express your true feelings and your thoughts through your art. Now, if I could suggest maybe going over the speech bubble and putting something like, I don't know, I'm a good friend to Sean.
Oh, no, I'm not changing it. No.
I thought
this stays as it is. Just because my feelings have softened, that is a representation of how I felt at the time. That lives forever now.
Look, Sean, I'm not going to ask again. Just change what I'm saying in the painting.
No, I won't do it. That is my art. That does not change. That is my truth.
That's your art, is it? That's your truth. Well, maybe this is my art and my truth.
Look, put that paint bucket down. Put that paint bucket down.
Oh, what? What's the matter? You afraid I might get some on your little expression of your thoughts and feelings?
Look, you're going to make a hell of a mess and you're going to get us both fired.
I don't care. Your thoughts and feelings have repercussions, mate. I'm sick of it. You think you're the only one? You know, what about my expression, my thoughts, my feelings about this whole situation you've got me in?
I got you in. I got you this job.
Look, just stand aside, all right?
I won't. I'll defend this painting with my life.
Well, you're going to get fucking covered in paint then. A 1, a 2,
Fuck's sake. Are you alright there, mate?
No, I'm fucking covered in magnolia paint.
He's fallen on his arse again. Typical. Do you think we should have put some newspaper down or something?
Well, yeah, it's a bit late now, isn't it?
It's a bit late now. Fuck. He said these stone floors have been here for 500 years, I think. Oh. I mean, I think they look good in magnolia.
I mean, everyone likes magnolia.
Yeah, lovely colour. I don't know if he's going to like it on the stone floors, though. Oh, you mucky pup. Look, we've got you cleaned up a bit. I don't know what we're going to do about this floor, though.
I've swept it as much as I could, but you can't really sweep dry paint. So,
no, but you were sweeping it while it was wet, and you've spread it all around the rest of the room. And hang on, are those magnolia footprints going out towards the kitchen?
Well, I mean, he mentioned the iced tea and the scones, so I fancied one. What? We've been working hard.
But where's mine? I've been here cleaning up your mess.
Oh, right. Well, we'll grab a few in a sec before we go.
That's fine. Just take your shoes off before you start walking around his house and putting wet paint footprints everywhere.
It's what labourers do.
Well, yeah, that's true. Look, well, I think we've said all we can say about Salvador Dali, so why don't we wrap this episode up?
Yeah, to be honest, I think this is about as good as it's going to get.
Okay, well, thank you for listening, everybody. If you want to follow us on any of the socials, we're on Twitter at Mailbox Rogues, and Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, Mailbox Rogues Gallery. You've got an email as well, haven't we? You can email us at mailboxroguesgallery@gmail.com.
That's right. And you can also listen to the podcast in lots of different places. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube even. Anywhere that you listen to your podcasts.
Basically anywhere. And if you can on any of those places, especially Apple Podcasts, do give us a rating and a review, please.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, the Mailbox Rogues Gallery has a Discord. So if you follow our Discord, the Mailbox Rogues Gallery, you can comment, you can make suggestions. Perhaps you have an idea for someone that we can talk about on the podcast. Let us know. Maybe you want to share thoughts and feelings about the podcast or any questions you might have. Let us know.
Right, that's the episode wrapped up. Oh, shit. Does that sound like Mr. Fisley Smythe coming back?
You know what? That does sound like the footsteps of Mr. Edgar Fisley Smythe. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. I'm so wealthy. What in the blue blazes is this?
Mr. Fisley Smythe, we didn't expect you back so soon.
Never mind all that bollocks. What the hell have you done to my home?
Well, we're recording a podcast and we were talking about Salvador Dali, so we've just ended up kind of painting along on the walls as we went.
So, let me just get this straight. So, you've been recording a podcast when I asked you, paid you in fact, to decorate my family home. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what he said, yeah. Well, I mean, this is unacceptable. I mean, this paint all over this floor, and what's this? What's this on the walls? Men in red coats with wheels for feet, melting clocks, elephants on stilts. I think I'm going to be sick.
Look, just, you know what always helps me when I'm feeling a bit under the weather? Just put your face over this paint can here. This'll really help.
I'll tell you what will help. Me calling the bloody police.
Whoa, don't do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not be hasty. You know, we can't go back inside. Back inside? What are you talking about?
It's a long story, but let's just say we're on the lamb.
You like lamb, don't you? On the lamb? You two are jailbirds? Lamb, jailbird, yeah, whatever animal you want. Look, I mean, we're good people. We're good, honest people doing a good... All right, we didn't do a good job. We tried our darndest, to do a nice job here. I appreciate it didn't turn out the way that you wanted. So, we're not going to expect full pay for this. You can dock our wages by like 20%.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
We won't think anything of it, and we just never speak of it again, never see each other again. How does that sound to you? It sounds like I'm calling the police. Fuck's sake. I'll tell you what I'm going to do first of all, before I call the police, though. I'm going to give the pair of you a bloody good thrashing.
Whoa, calm down.
Yeah, come on, mate. You don't look like you could fight your way out of a fucking paper bag. Oh, I don't, do I? We'll just see about that. Come on, Marquess of Queensberry rules. I don't know what you just said, but alright, fine, fuck it. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's do this.
Right, are you guys going to fight now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, well, it looks that way. Why, yes, of course. Why? Do you fancy a knuckle sandwich yourself?
No, I'm fine. I'll let Burch handle this one.
Right. You punch first and then I punch you. What, really? Just like that? Alright, this is a very odd... You sure you want me to go first? You know, I've got quite a punch on me.
Burch, I say take the opportunity while you can.
Nah, fair enough. Ugh, you cad, you bounder, you hit me in the testicles.
Oh, Burch, why did you go straight for his nuts?
He didn't say where I had to hit him. Oh God, I'm slipping around on this. Is it wet paint?
Oh shit, he's just slipped on the wet paint. Has he just cracked his head on the floor?
Let's have a look. I'm right in thinking that we packed the red paint away, didn't we?
Yeah, why?
Oh, okay, it's blood then. I mean, he has a pulse.
Why don't we call for the maid and then run away?
Yeah. Well, could I suggest maybe we get our money first? Because, you know, I mean, I know we fucked up, but, you know...
That is cheeky. You're going to rob him now?
We're like Evel Knievel. We're paid for the attempt.
Yeah, I tell you what as well, though. When he wakes up, he's got all this priceless artwork that I've daubed all over his walls. So he can make this place into a museum and charge entrance money. He'll make his money back in no time.
Exactly.
Okay, well, look, let's figure this out. We said we'd take 20% off. I do think that's fair.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a monster.
No. If he was conscious, he'd maybe argue us down, but he's not conscious. So, what's that make it about? Oh, it comes to a £5 exactly.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Oh, and, you know, a couple of scones for the road.
Yeah, I think there's a £5 sticking out of his pocket. We'll just grab that.
Right, I'll just grab that. Thank you very much, Mr. Fistley Smythe.
Here, look, Burch. I've got one more artwork here that I wanted to show you.
Oh, go on, let's have a look.
See, look, I put some googly eyes on my paintbrush, so it looks like a guy with really big hair. Oh, don't you like it?
No, you know me, I love googly eyes on things, but I mean, you know, first the prison escape, then the lollipop lady last week, and now this. I don't know, I just feel like we're doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over, and it's just really bummed me out.
Look, mate, it's Christmas coming up. You shouldn't be worrying about things like that. Me and you, go on a mulled cider bender and have a lovely old Christmas time and just ease ourselves into the season.
No, that does sound good. Thanks, Sean. No, that's really perked my spirits up. I'm looking forward to the next podcast now.
All right, me too. All right, now let's get the hell out of here.
Sounds good to me. I've been Burch.
And I've been Sean.
Toodles.
Goodbye.
Da 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 da.